Good morning, class, and welcome to week 6 of Counsel 17. We're already almost at halfway through our class. We're still concentrating on time management this week. This week, you're hopefully finishing up reading the chapter that was assigned to you for last week and this week, and you're continuing to work on your discussion posts that are going to then come together, and you're going to become a compilation for your college survival skills portfolio, which is your next major assignment due towards the end of April. So you really want to be keeping up with weekly assignments, and we'll go over that discussion a little bit. But first this morning, I wanted to talk about different time management strategies for success. So your book goes over this in detail, so you should be looking at that in the book. But I also wanted to show you when you're in college, you're going to have lots of different classes that are all at different times throughout the week. It's not going to be like high school where you're in class every day from 8 to 2 o'clock. Sometimes you might not have a class on Monday and Wednesdays and have 4 classes on Tuesday, Thursdays. Or sometimes you have some classes in the morning, some in the evenings, and maybe you have Fridays off. It's always different. You're going to have the choice to choose your schedule by choosing the classes and choosing what times you want to do those classes. So it can get sometimes a little overwhelming to keep track of everything you have to do in terms of all the different assignments and reading you need to do for your different classes. If you need to work, any extracurricular activities, any personal stuff you need to do, you want to find tools and strategies to be able to organize your time so that you make sure that you're doing everything that you need to do. So we're going to go over a couple options that if you're not already doing them, you want to start doing, especially when you get to college, which looks like buying a planner or getting a calendar, using reminders on your phone. We're going to talk about these different things. And it's different for everyone what works for you. I really like writing things out. I have a planner and I like to write things out for each day of what I need to do. So I can also see what's coming up. What are the long-term projects I have to work on? And what are those short-term things I need to focus on? So calendars and planners help you look ahead, and you can write in important dates and deadlines so you don't forget. Here in this example, you can see that this person's using a weekly planner where they have the hours of the day because look, they have a lot going on. They're doing some personal stuff in between work. Then they have classes going on. They've written in their study time, when they're going to work out, when they're going to a party. So this is a really good way to be organized for each day. If planners can be expensive, you can get them at Target. You can even get them at 99-cent store and only spend $1. There's other electronic ways that might work for you as well. For me, that doesn't work because I like to write things out and I like to see them in my hand. But for some people, we do like to see things, on a screen. So there is a interactive study schedule that's been developed by the California Community College Chancellor's Office, and you can utilize that. There's more information in your book, and there's different apps that you could do if you want to be putting in all of these different things in your schedule. There's also daily to-do lists, which is what the book talks about as well. So you have that long-term planner where you're seeing what's coming up for the week and the month, and then you might have a couple really busy days where you have a lot to get done. So you need to do a to-do list. I do that as well. So I have my weekly planner so I can see what's coming up. But then every day, because I have me as an adjunct, I have 3 to 4 different jobs each semester. I have things going on in my personal life. I have things I need to do to help my family. So I need to write everything down, what I need to do for that day. So here on these examples, there's different ways that you can organize a to-do list. Sometimes you can circle things or have different symbols like underlining to see what's more important to get done in that to-do list and that you can focus on the other stuff later. In this example here, they're using an ABC system where they're marking things that are the most important to get done first as A, second importance B, and third importance C. So there's different ways you can try out different things to see what's going to work for you. Not all strategies are going to work the same for each of us. We want to figure out what is the strategy that's going to work for me. In your module this week, there is a video, How to Beat Procrastination. It's a really funny TED Talk, but very interesting that is there in the module. dealing with procrastination, you have to accept that it's a habit. Procrastinating means you're waiting to the last minute to do something, which we all procrastinate on something at some point. We want to then try and strategize how to beat that procrastination. So that can look like using a planner to schedule times for studying, using a planner so that you know I need to do this at this certain time and you're not overwhelming yourself. Write yourself notes or to-do lists, counter a negative with a positive. So maybe you didn't get this done, but now you know, well, I know I need to start that maybe a few days earlier and I'm going to get it done. Don't dwell on the thought of failing. Study with a motivated friend. That's really important. Once you're in college, to start finding people in your classes that you can study with, because it really helps when you're all moving towards similar goals to work together. Keep a study journal and get help when needed. The book also talks about the Pomodoro technique, which is a really cool strategy, especially if you feel like you procrastinate a lot or you can't focus on doing work for a long time. This is a technique that really helps you break down and do things in small amount of time so that you don't get overwhelmed. So step one is you identify the tasks you want completed. So you look at your planner or you look at your course syllabus. What do you have to do that week or that day? Step two, set a timer for 25 minutes, or they call it one Pomodoro. So you set your timer for 25 minutes. Put a check mark next to your accomplished task when the timer goes off. So for 25 minutes, you work on whatever you need to work on. Just 25 minutes, the timer goes off. You've gotten something done. You put a check mark next to your to-do list that you've gotten that done. You set a timer for 5 minutes. You take a break. You go eat a snack. You go outside. You stretch. And then you repeat and do for another 25 minutes, another task. So that's a really nice way to break things up, because you also don't want to have to study for 8 hours all one day, because you're going to get overwhelmed. You're not going to be learning. After about 2 hours, your brain checks out. So this is a really good strategy to get work done in small increments of time, but you're actually being efficient and getting things done. So the key takeaways of this chapter in the last 2 modules is that time management is critical to student success. First, identifying your attitude towards time can be helpful to develop strategies that are most helpful for your style. That's why last week you learned about your best time of day, and this week you're going to be doing another assessment, which we're going to look at in a second. For every hour in the classroom, college students are expected to spend on average 2 hours outside of class dedicated to studying for each hour in class. And you want to identify strategies that are helpful to stay organized and manage your time. So you want to be thinking about all these things because you're going to be writing about them in your college survival skills portfolio, as well as in your weekly discussions. So let's take a quick look at this week's discussion. So for week 6, remember you start at the beginning of the module, you go down. This week's discussion is the left brain, right brain assessment. Remember that you download the PDF to your device, then you complete the assessment and save it to your device. You'll be using this assessment to complete the discussion, and you will also submit this completed assessment as part of your college survival skills portfolio. So if we want to look at what this assessment's all about, let's take a look. That's going to load in a moment. So here, when you download it, it will be able to let you select. You're going to use, click on the response that most often is true for you. You select whatever is true for you, you calculate your results, and then you're going to read about the different strategies depending on left brain, right brain. After you complete the assessment, answer the following questions. Explain what you learned about yourself, refer to the results, and include discussion about the characteristics that seem fit to fit you or not fit. Discuss changes you will make or strategies you will start using. Include discussion about the characteristics you would like to improve to be better balanced. Remember that after you write your own answer, you do need to respond to 2 other classmates to get your full 20 points. Remember to be saving all this work you're doing because it's going to be contributing to the college survival skills portfolio. If you have any questions, as always, please write me through Canvas inbox or email. Have a great week.